Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon, good evening. Who knows what time it is when you're watching this or where you're watching this from, but for me, it's 6:30 in the morning, drinking my coffee and sitting on my couch, minding my own business, and all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, I'm in front of you. So why is that? Well, I was reading a comment, and honestly, I'm so sorry, but I can't remember the comment, but what I can remember is that my guides, my spirit guides, jumped into my head and had a whole conversation with me. And I thought, this is fascinating. I think people would like to know this. So here I am. I want to also say to you that I feel like I'm in a dark cave, and I've always felt like this. Like, this is how I feel about getting psychic readings or getting information about our lives. It seems like we have two realities. Well, we do. We have a duality, right? We live in a dualistic world where this is the 3D. I'm in front of a computer screen at 6:30 in the morning. I'm in Texas. These are realities, right? These are our 3D realities. However, just across this very thin veil is perhaps a different reality. And across that thin veil is information that we can get, that we can know, that we can ascertain, or that we can get from other sources. Now, for me, just for me, sometimes how that feels is I'm in a dark cave and I'm feeling along the walls and stubbing my toe a lot. And every once in a while, when I have a psychic reading, before I realized I was psychic myself, or when I talk to my spirit guides now, I feel like I have a little bit of light in that cave for a period of time. Not a long time. We don't have the ability to shine the light throughout the entire cave, throughout our entire lifetime. I believe that if you're that kind of person, you're Gandhi, you're ascended, you're in the flow of energy to such a balanced degree that you're always guided. Personally, I think that it's very hard for humans to achieve that. I think that we get a little light, we go, oh, there, okay, great, I can see where I'm going, or oh, there's that, stalagmite or stalactite, whatever. And then it goes dimmer and dimmer back to dark again as we go back into duality. Okay, now why am I telling you? I don't know. I just said I want to talk about Ukraine, and here I am talking about a damn cave. I don't know. Bear with me. Now, I want to talk about Ukraine because Ukraine is, I'm going to use the words they're telling me, the bellwether for the rest of the world, our consciousness. Now, I didn't even know where Ukraine was. I mean, to be completely honest with you, before Russia attacked Ukraine, I didn't know where it was. I couldn't find it on a map. I met a person that I was friends with for a little while that was from Moldova that was terrified of Russia. And that's why he was in the United States. God bless him, he's since moved back to Moldova. So I knew where Moldova was, and Moldova is very close to Ukraine. I'm just telling you that Ukraine is really important. And I've said this before in the readings about Ukraine. I've said Ukraine is divinely guided. I think that the United States is divinely guided. I think that Biden was divinely guided. I think that Trump was divinely guided. Trump was brought here for us to clean out the swamp. Exactly what he said. Honestly, everything the guy says is true. It's just the reverse of what he thinks, When he says they're rigging the vote, it's true, you guys. He's rigging the vote. He's here to be a truth teller. All you got to do is apply the super secret decoder ring to whatever he says, which means turn it around backwards, and you know exactly what the truth is. So going back to Ukraine, this is important, I swear. I got another little glimmer of light in my cave, and I saw something. I saw that for whatever reason, Who knows why? Maybe that's over my pay grade. But for whatever reason, Ukraine was a bit of a test for the world. Now, there have been other tests. And we failed them. I'm just going to flat out tell you, humans have been failing a lot of tests. Somalia, Siberia, or Syria. How many places have had genocides that we failed? How many school shootings have there been? We failed. Y'all, we're failing a lot of tests. But you know what? It doesn't matter because the universe is going to keep giving us tests until we get it right. I would like to say that we're going to get it right now, but we're not. I'm sorry to say that. We're not going to get it right. We're going to have a few more tests. But the important thing I want to tell you is that we're getting it right in Ukraine. And for whatever reason, I don't understand, guys. I don't have all the answers. I don't. I'm not a guru. I don't have all the answers. I'm struggling right along with you guys. I get a glimpse and I share it with you. That's all. For whatever reason, Ukraine is where we're getting it right, where we're passing the test. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean for the rest of us? I mean, it's good for Ukraine in a way. I mean, they had to go through hell and they've had incredible losses and their country's been pulverized. Hard to see some good in there, but what happened was that's changed the world. It's changed the energy of the entire world. Is that the world came together to support Ukraine. Now, it doesn't mean that the whole world came together. It doesn't mean that 90% of the world or even 80% of the world came together. It means that more than 50%, the majority of the energy is supporting Ukraine. Now, it's not just Ukraine, it's the fact that this other country invaded them and did unspeakable, inhumane things to those people. And again, please don't hear me saying that this is correct, that we shouldn't have been there for Somalia or Afghanistan or Iraq. Those were failures, humanitarian failures. Humans failed. We failed those tests. For whatever reason, we're trying to get it a little more right with Ukraine. And in doing so, humans are changing the energy around the planet. And the planet and all the humans on it. I mean, the planet by itself, Mother Gaia by herself, plus all the humans and all the animals and all the living, anything that's living, of course has energy. And if you think about the earth as like pulsating, right? Well, the earth has been sick. We've been pulsating a lot of negative energy. And now we're pulsating higher frequency. We really are. I mean, it looks bleak. I get it. Hard to have hope right now. It's hard for me to have hope right now. So I get it. But I'm telling you, 10 minutes ago, I was sitting on my couch drinking coffee, and now I'm sitting here in front of you. So this is important, because coffee is really important to me. Why this matters. This energy, the fact that me in Texas, that maybe you in Connecticut or you in, California, Arizona, wherever you are, Canada, Europe, wherever you are, you have compassion and you sent out prayers. You sent out light to help Ukraine. Maybe you sent out prayers to help these victims of these attacks, these shootings recently. That is lifting our energy. When we have more light coming out of our bodies than dark, things will start changing across not only America, but the whole world. It doesn't mean we're not going to have dark. It doesn't mean we're not going to have violence. But it does mean that we're getting close to a tipping point. A tipping point that's going to affect all of us. Not talking about nirvana or the ascension to nirvana, but I'm talking about a tipping point where perhaps while we're in it, we can't see it. And perhaps while we're experiencing it even for the next years, we may not be able to see it. But looking back on it, we're going to see this was the tipping point. When people came together and said, we're sending love and light to Ukraine. We're sending love and light to these victims. The puppies have woken up. You're about to hear them. When we start waking up and standing up, this is the tipping point, you guys. And the other thing I want to say is that yesterday, I'm going to pause this and shut my door. Is that yesterday I used the word mama bear in a new way. And, sometimes when you use a word or you have a thought, there's a lot of energy around it. You just feel like, wow, there's a lot of energy around that. If you start paying attention to that, you'll start noticing the energy. We can all notice this. You don't have to be a psychic or a medium. We're energetic beings. We are energy. So start paying attention to your energy. How do you react to certain words? How do you react to certain situations? How do you react to things people are telling you? So I used the word mama bear, and it hit me like right here in my solar plexus. Like, wow, okay, my heart chakra. And then today, they gave me more information about mama bear. We are going into the time of the divine feminine, which is also causing a lot of masculine energies, some issues. I mean, they're picking up on it. They're fighting against it. We're going into the divine feminine. We're going into a world where race is going to not be as much of a determining factor. Because honestly, as we ascend, we're going to be intermingling our races. The goal is for us all to be mixed up, for there not to be a discernible race. Right? So this is where we're going, and this is what's triggering these white men. But we're going into the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is the mama bear. She shows up, the divine feminine era shows up in what I'm understanding right now. Don't take this to be the gospel. I'm one woman, one connection to spirit. It's what I'm getting. I feel like she shows up as the mama bear. I feel like we're going to see women that stand up and say, this is enough. This is enough of these school shootings. This is enough of this hatred. This is enough of controlling our bodies. This is enough of controlling my children's bodies, be they male or female, be they wanting to change from a male to a female or a female to a male, or whether they simply want to control their own reproductive rights. You are going to see women stand up, of all colors, of all nationalities, of all races. And I want to say, because I got this message as well, let's, as women, let's be open. Let's open our arms and accept all of our sisters together, regardless of the culture, of the race, regardless of what they look like or what we are being asked. Women are being asked. Honestly, we're being given a test. Well, what are you going to do? You know, specifically white women. Are you going to open the power quotient that you have? Because right under white men are white women. Are white women going to open up their arms? Are they going to open up the power quotient that they have and allow other women of other nationalities, races, cultures, whatever, sexual orientation, are they going to open up and allow all those women to have a seat at the table? Because that's our highest and fastest path to ascension. That's how we get there on the fastest train. Now, we probably won't do that because we're human. And power's power. And when you have power, you don't even know you have power. You think everybody's got what you got. You can't see it. So, I don't know how that's going to go. But I do know that regardless of whether you are whatever nationality, race, culture, orientation that you are, and this is important apparently, regardless of whether you came into this world as a man but now you're a woman, you count as a woman. Spirit, it's you. What's in here is more important than what physical accoutrements you came out of the womb with. I know I'm getting out there now, but this is what Spirit's telling me. If you came into this world with the spirit, the energy of a woman, you get to sit at this table with me because you're a woman. Okay? So that's what's being asked of us. Now, these women are we're going to be the mama bears, y'all. We have to bear this standard, hold this flag. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Now, of course, there's going to be men with us. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you're going to have to vibe with our vibe. You're going to have to be Papa Bears supporting the Mama Bear. It's time for men to step a little back and let women have a chance at this. Y'all had your chance. Not going to judge, but y'all had your chance. It's women's time. Now, of course, that's going to freak out the white male establishment even more. Now everybody's coming after them. Even their own wives are coming after them, right? And this is going to happen because I already said this in a video, but these Republican women, okay, now you done went too far. You're messing with my daughter and her reproductive rights. You're messing with my daughter and her ability to get life-saving medical treatment. Okay, now okay, you're going to have to erase the R. I'm not a Republican anymore. I'm a mother. First and foremost, I'm a mother. And I don't know what you were thinking when you voted for that, but you got to go. Okay? So you're going to see a lot of infighting within the Republicans because their wives are going to be taking them to task. And the Republican women are going to be voting differently than their Republican counterparts that are male. So again, I talked about in the last video, dissolution. dissolving. The Republican Party is dissolving. My God, our society is dissolving. Our democracy may be dissolving. I'm not saying civil war. I'm not saying I don't freaky people out. I'm just telling you, to build new, you have to start over again. What happened to Ukraine? They had to dissolve to be able to truly start from scratch and rebuild. And they will. I've said this in other videos. I know I've got a lot of new subscribers, so I'll say it again. From the very beginning, the guides said Ukraine would be pulverized. That's the exact word they used. They said that Ukraine would rise up out of the ashes like the phoenix. Exact words they used. They said that Ukraine would have new architectural, beautiful glass, modern buildings built where those old historic buildings were. Not saying that's right or wrong, folks. 1-800-SPIRIT Guides. Press 1 for complaints. Just telling you what they're telling me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a messenger. It's horrendous what happened to Ukraine. I wish that I could rewind energy and start over again and it not happen. Apparently, humans sometimes need a lesson that is a little bit harder than we want. And Ukraine raised their hand. Those amazing people, truly amazing people, raised their hand and said, we will do this and we'll make it right this time. And they are. And they're teaching the rest of the world how to come together. That's why Ukraine figures so prominently in this. Let me just finish it up by saying, in your own personal life, when you take one step towards the universe takes 3 giant steps to you. But you have to take a step. When people say, it was God's will that I lost my house. Well, not necessarily. That was probably not God's will. That could have been something that you did, something that you didn't do. In all situations, we have some power. Maybe you didn't have any power and everything was stacked against you and you still lost your house. What is the lesson? What can you do? How can you rise from the ashes and recreate yourself anew the way Ukraine is? Because when you take that step out of the ashes, when you say, well, I've lost everything, but I'm going to pick myself up and take a step, that's when the universe takes 3 steps towards you and all of a sudden you have a new job and you have new opportunities and everything has changed for the better for you. How many stories are there when someone loses everything but then they come back and they have even more? That's you taking a step towards the universe. Ukraine is taking a step towards the universe. The world took a step towards Ukraine. The world said, we're going to support you. We're going to support you. We're going to come together. And when we came together, the majority of us, and helped Ukraine either through monetary or just prayers and love and light, the universe took a step towards not only Ukraine, but the world, but our world. We came together, we opened our hearts. We opened our hearts for Ukraine. Now that our hearts are open, let's open our hearts towards all humanity. Let's open our hearts towards working together. And let's take a step towards civility and respect and love for each other. When we take that step towards civility, love, and respect for each other, the universe is going to help us. Just like it's doing Ukraine. Ukraine is going to rebuild. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, truly, it's going to be a jewel. It paid a heavy price to get there. I wish it didn't. But it did. And it's going to be rewarded. Here in America, we've paid a heavy price for our indulgence, is the word they're using, of bullies. Our indulgence of people that convinced us that it's okay to have assault rifles. We indulge these politicians. We indulge them because some of us voted against people that didn't look like us. That was used against us. And now we're coming together. We found perhaps an issue that is bringing us together, and that is the Roe v. Wade issue. It's going to bring us together, and then hopefully from that issue, we can learn that really we're all just one. We all have the same blood. There isn't a difference between us. We can bridge that gap of whatever cultural or whatever differences there might be. We can bridge that gap and see how we're all humanity. That's Ascension. That's where we're going. That's what we have before us. And I truly believe that as the mama bears step up and say, no, I don't believe this anymore. I don't believe that we need these weapons. I don't believe that we're all so different. You're not going to separate me anymore. You're not going to tell me those lies anymore. I don't believe it. I don't believe it anymore. My eyes are open. And it's time for us to step into that power, to fight back, to protest, to line up, to make our voices heard, to find common ground, to open the doors to other women that don't look like us, that don't think like us, and to open the doors to the men that do think like us, but don't look like us. You guys, women are going to stand up and lead us through this very tumultuous time. Mama bears are about to come out of their dens, and they are pissed off. And you'll see it. You'll see women screaming and yelling in protest. You'll see them screaming and yelling at politicians. You're going to see them be very angry and demanding, because we've tried talking. People don't hear us. Men don't hear us. Power centers don't hear us. We have to talk louder. We have to really let our voices be heard. So you're going to see that going forward. And if you're a woman, this is your time. Get that throat chakra open. Exercise it. Make your voice heard. We're not going to let our babies be killed anymore. We're not going to. The men in power are not protecting us. They're not protecting humans. It's time. It's time. You guys take really good care of yourselves, no matter what. The most important thing is taking care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, only then can you take care of others. We need you like never before. So please do some nice things for yourself. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself so that you can love on others. I'll see you again right here on this channel.